Welcome, welcome. It's step 8, day 8 of jumpstarting our creative process for a period of time that we're bracketing at 6 weeks. And the reason why we're doing a 6 week bracket is because it's we can divide the year, any year, into 8 segments of 6 weeks. And each 6 weeks can give us a very focused amount of time to engage, to invest, and to watch, notice, and evolve the dream vision in our life at this current time. Our dream visions grow as we grow and evolve as we evolve. So when we get to step 8 in our 8 steps in the creative jumpstarting process, step 8 is where we're really in a position now to look over our shoulder and see, where did we come from? When did this start? We have no way of knowing how long it will take for a dream to actualize itself. That's not our business. All we need to know is that we have a dream. All we need to know is that we're willing to give that dream some legs, call it a vision, get a picture of it with our eyes closed, really get down to the detail. What is the sight, the sound, the smell, the texture, the aroma of our vision? And in doing that, we begin to know what parts of the vision require researching so that we can gain more insight and more awareness. And as we gain insight and awareness, we become more excited about, wow, this research shows me that this could actually happen. What kind of action could I take today? Could I write the idea down so that I capture it? Could I call a friend and tell them that I can trust them to hold this idea close to their heart as I hold it close to my heart? Could I actually watch this idea unfold to the point where I'm at a position where I could actually share? So my little story for this step in the jumpstarting of a creative process goes like this. When I lived in that little cottage before I moved to the estate, my dream became very clear to me. I was not going to let go of the dream of being the very best artist I could be. And I had a very, very, very real reason why that was so important to me, to let myself move beyond all of my fears, all of my self-doubts, all of the ways in which life had challenged me. I was not going to be stopped. I was going to be bold enough to keep moving forward. Step 8 is where we really can look over our shoulder and notice the path that we've forged that's gotten us right here to right here and right now. What a magnificent, magnificent thing to be able to stand in our life right here, right now, with all of its warts and all of its shortcomings. It's a beautiful life. What did Robert Louis Stevenson said? The world is so full of a number of things. I think we could all be as happy as kings. It's a nursery rhyme line, but it really has truth to it, that the world is so full of a number of things that we can find that thing that just makes us sing, that gives us uplift, that does feel like the positive is attached to the positive and the negative is attached to the negative. That makes the battery charge. You have to have both of those points of contact. You have to connect the positive wire to the positive terminal and the negative wire to the negative terminal, or the engine won't turn and there's no momentum. So there's something really magnificent about getting to step 8. It's not the end in our 8 steps. It's simply the 8th step. And from the 8th step, we begin to move, as mentioned, freely. We can move across from step 8 over to step 3 or over to step 5. We can begin again immediately with our next dream and turn it into our vision. However, we first want to know about step 8. So once we've moved our way all the way around this little circle that we've made, let me grab it for a quick review. This is my steps, my day 6, step 6. But now we've taken the dream, we've moved it all around. We've reflected on our resistances. We've thought about ways that we could share, even if only with one person, to give as ever possible. There's no lack in giving, in sharing, in setting our gift out on the doorstep. There's lots of different ways even now that we can give away our art. There are Facebook pages where people intentionally leave their art for someone else to find. And then the person who finds the art, there's a little note inside with the art that says, this is, a gift to you, but would you share with us on Facebook on this particular group site that you found this piece of art? And it's really lovely how it doesn't have to be, as we mentioned yesterday in the sharing step 7, it doesn't have to be about fame. It doesn't have to be about celebrity. Of course it doesn't. It's simply about being alive and putting forth what our gifts and our passions are. So in step 8, we're now at step 8, and all of these are now are shaded in to represent the feminine energy of being. This is the masculine energy of doing. This is the feminine energy of being. We reflect, we share, we give out. The earth shares her resources with us endlessly. She shares everything, all of her beauty, all of her minerals, her air, her water, her earth, her plants. They nourish us, they shelter us. All this feminine energy, we color these 2 wedges in with our darker shade to represent the yin, the mystery, as with our 8th step, which is the energy of growing up. And when we grow up, we're growing up incrementally. In other words, we're not born and then grown. We grow up incrementally, and it takes us a very, very long time. And as I mentioned the other day, in one of the steps at age 20, I thought I should know by age 30 if I had arrived or not, if I had accomplished it all or not. And of course, when I got to 30, I had new dreams, I had new visions. When I get to be 80, I'll have new dreams and I'll have new visions. When I'm on my deathbed, I'll be, letting go of whatever unfinished dreams and visions I had up until that point. But that's what keeps us engaged and alive and growing up, always growing up. My Buddhist teachers coming in here from Tibet to the West had a mantra that they shared with us at some of our empowerments that was basically O Soha, which is the 2 syllables that start many mantras, O Soha. And this one was O Soha, grow up. Because in the West, we don't tend to grow up very easily, and we don't tend to grow up very quickly. And we stay very immature for a very long time without judgment and without comparison. It's just the reality of our culture. We don't grow up very easily. And when we do grow up, we often grow up scared. I've got my day 8 grow up step card started, and my card says day 8, grow up with gratitude, and recognize that we get scared, and scared and scarcity have a great deal in common. If we're in fear, if we're scared, we're tight, we contract, we're not open, we're not capable of sharing. So we want to recognize in step 8, as we grow up, life can be scary. Obviously, we can confront our fears, and we need to confront our fears on a regular basis. And when we're scared, things feel scarce. There's never enough. There's not enough sufficiency. But the beauty of the language is that scare is the same as sacred. Scare and sacred, scared and sacred, ED. Scared and sacred are the same energies. We just shift where the C is placed. And I like to put that into a little creative mantra, that we are scared until we learn how to see. And we close our eyes in order to see, because it's our intuitive eyes that really guide us in our life of creative process. So when we're scared, we're not in sanctuary. So these are all things that show us how to grow up and how to find our place. And as we're closing out our 8 steps to jumpstart our creative process, isn't it wonderful to end with the idea of creating a sanctuary for ourselves, being grown up and being in a state of perpetual gratitude? Thank you, thank you, thank you. As Meister Eckhart said, if the only prayer we ever say is thank you, that will be enough. So that's step 8. Thank you, thank you, thank you to our physical life, to these beautiful vehicles called our bodies, to our emotions, our feeling body that gives birth to our ideas and our creativity, to be grateful for our spirit, for that amazing aspect of ourself that we can't see, we can't touch, we can't find it, but it's us. It's what makes you, you. It's what makes me, me, is my spirit. So we're grateful for these aspects of our precious human life. And in having this gratitude, we can make a gratitude list. Obviously, we've all heard of those. We can have an attitude of gratitude, and it supports our maturity. And that's one of our ongoing courses, and one of our challenges is the criteria for emotional maturity. We're grateful that we can continuously grow into a larger version of ourself. So that's it. That's our 8 steps to jumpstart our creative process. And I invite you to engage these 8 steps for a full 6 weeks, and recognize that 6 weeks is times 8 creates a whole year. And we can just continually invest in recognizing that you have to have a dream if you're going to make a dream come true. And a dream can't stay out in the ethers. We need to bring it down and pin it to the earth plane and to the material world, and do the research that allows us to take the actions that give us the guts and the gumption to take the actions that evolve our creativity, our voice, our ability to dance, to sing out loud, to plant that garden, to create those beautiful menus, those dishes in our kitchen, to evolve our ability to communicate with ourselves and with one another, one-to-one and beyond. Just constantly recognizing our capacity to reflect on our resistances, not so that they stop us, but so that we see them as patterns that may have been with us since before we learned to talk, but to recognize our resistances so that we can have a breakthrough and get to the point of recognizing that only our doubt limits us. And that is the issue of our time. We want to transform the scarcity of doubt to the peace of trust. And we are rewarded with tremendous potential. And the power of our gratefulness undoes every obstacle of limitation. So there we have it. I look forward to seeing you in future programs. And I also look forward to hearing from you. Send me an email, make a comment on the website, the Facebook website, to tell us what you thought, what your takeaway is from the 8 days, 8 steps to jumpstart your creative process. This is Iona at Wren House Studio, and this has been a free 8-day challenge so that you can download all of the videos to your computer, put them in a folder, and repeat them as often as you choose to, so that you are constantly staying connected to this rhythm, this circadian rhythm of your own creative process. Much love.